I woke up, got drunk, got caught by the FBI. Shut up, phone, I know. Oh, Lord. Let's see. So, we're live. I realize this video is not going to make sense to a lot of you, but for those who will make sense to, hopefully it will be indeed entertaining like I hope it to be. If not, well, GG's. While we're waiting. Anywho, let the audio rock. Let me know if the audio's too loud. What's up, what's up, Retro? What's up, Typesaid? I just realized that was the audio not playing? I'm tripping. Hold on. Oh, no, it's just not playing. Okay. Dang it. All right. What's up, Static? So, I'm waiting a little bit, and then we'll get started. Just playing Trials of Cold Steel, of course. The Trials love is real, isn't it? Oh, God. Oh, my goodness. Why does the chat look like that? Hold on. Oh, that's why, because it looks janky as hell. Let me change the settings on. Oh, wait, there's two. Oh, no, there's two chat boxes. Oh, okay. I see what happened. Hold on. Yeah, that's redundant. Okay, got it. Never mind, I can remove this one. I don't know why. I thought I didn't have a chat box. Jesus Christ. But yeah, we're talking, let me know if the audio, is the music in the background too loud, or do I need to lower it? This also reminds me, I probably need to, wiki. I'll have this up just so you guys have a general, for those who don't know about like each of the girls, I'll give this as like a reference point. So obviously, the first one will be Hakari. But essentially as we go through the tier list, I'll go through each of the girls as we talk about them, and then we'll rank it. But for those who don't know, so you have at least a visual of what they look like, this is what I'll do. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a couple more seconds. I ate my chicken before the stream started, but I didn't eat my veggies, so you're gonna see me eat string beans here. So if you ask me what I'm eating, it's string beans. But let me know, like I said, if the background music is too loud, let me know. Or if it's too distracting, let me know, so I know to either turn it down or turn it off. I thought it would just be good to have it playing. But essentially the general premise is that there is a series called 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You. And I have seen various people rank the girlfriends individually, and I was like, I don't like those rankings. That's literally what I said. I said, I don't like the rankings for those girls. So because I don't like their rankings, I'm going to make my own ranking. Now, this is spoilers for every girlfriend that's currently in the manga. So if you want to read the manga, this tier list spoils every girlfriend that's currently out as of today. Even the one that was just introduced like a week or two ago. So if you don't want to get spoiled on all these girls, I suggest in advance either getting out of here or just knowing. So they have a rank of goddess. I don't know if I really agree with that. Is Rentaro in here? I don't know if I have one that's... Well, I mean, that's not true. I might have one or two that are goddess level. Goddess level are characters that I love seeing no matter what. Yeah, so to give the general premise... The premise is the main character Rentaro spent his entire childhood all the way up until the beginning of high school getting rejected by over 100 girls. I think it was 100 girls exactly. Like when the series starts, he's being rejected by his 100th girl. These are girls he's asked out and just gotten rejected. So he decides to say, fuck it. Before he starts high school, he's going to pray. So he goes and prays and God actually answers his call. The problem is God messes up. God's like, I'm going to grant you a soulmate. He put too many zeros after that one soulmate thing. So he granted him 100 soulmates. Now, the premise is that since you're only destined to have one soulmate, if you end up with the shock of being rejected by a soulmate is like borderline, it's essentially suicide. So the idea is that if you don't date these women, they'll eventually off themselves from the loneliness of not connecting with their soulmate. Now, granted, that part of the premise isn't as important, but it is mentioned early on. That's why I'm mentioning it. So any girl that he runs across and he zings with, if he zings with the girl, that means you're a soulmate. That's how the manga and anime adapt it. And as of currently, out of the 100 soulmates he's supposed to have, I believe he's up to 28 currently. So he's more than a fourth of the way there, but we still have 72 more girls to go through. So today I'm going to rank my favorites and least favorites of the batch of 28 we have so far. Some of the pictures they chose for some of these girls are a little confusing because it's some of them in their ooh faces and it's going to mess me up. So like I said, for those who don't know, I'm going to show pictures of each of the girls from the wiki as we go through them. And I'm going to start off with number 1, who full name is Hanazora Hakari. The fun thing I like about 100 Girlfriends is that 100 Girlfriends like to do the gimmick of each of their names having a pun. I won't go too much into the first 10 or so because you're going to see these in the anime. So does he dump them one by one or date them all simultaneously? It's a harem. It's a big harem, Retro. He currently has 28 girlfriends and they're all dating him right now currently and they're all aware of each other. It's a huge harem. It's probably the biggest harem in all of anime once it's done. So we're going to start off with, now technically there are 2 characters who were introduced in the first episode and in the beginning of the manga. They introduced the first 2 girls back to back, which is Hakari and Karane, but I'll get to Karane in a second. So Hakari, who is represented, where is she? I just saw her a minute ago. She's right here. I don't know if you guys really want me to go too deep into her personality because, yeah, all the chicks are cool with the harem. If anything, there's some low-key lesbian stuff happening within the harem. I'll go through a brief description of them and then kind of give my reasons for why I ranked them where I ranked them. Hakari is our Love is Blind character is the best way I like to put her. She's super obsessive. She's super into Rentaro, who is Chad. He's Chad Taro. Don't ever let anyone question you any other way, he's Chad Taro. But Hakari is the head over heels type. She's very much like, I love you, but she's also probably one of the more deviant of the girls, constantly trying to have sex with him or make babies with him or just anything sexual. Ironically enough, one of my favorite gags in the series is that Rentaro is the most sexually pure of all the characters. The girls are more likely to jump him than he is ever to jump them. There's some couple of close calls, but for the most part, it's 99% of the time it's the girls jumping him, with him having a couple of exceptions. Hakari is probably one of the first leaders of that. Let's jump Rentaro's bones and have kids with him. For me personally, Hakari here, I've always struggled with Hakari because I like Hakari and I think she gets better as the story progresses. She's not going anywhere lower than A tier for me. I don't know if I'll put her at S tier. I don't think I'm going to, but I think A tier is a good starting point for her. They're all crazy for him. Yeah, but she is super, like, she wants to have sex with him immediately. She's not the only character to do that, but she's like one of the first characters. So we're going to go to the next character who's also introduced in the same episode and chapter, Karane. Karane is literally, the best way to describe Karane is a super tsundere. She is super tsundere. Where is she? Where is my Sun? There she is. She is a super tsundere. I mean, like, aggressive tsundere for me. Now, I have gone through a period in time where I used to not stand Karane. I didn't like tsunderes in general, not even Karane specifically. But the way the show rocks it is that it takes almost every general quirk and stretches it to its extreme, which makes it hilarious, while also giving characters a bunch of death. And I think Karane is a character who is absolutely probably one of the better written girls in. Okay. Jesus Christ, bro. Can you guys hear and see me? Because life is like a boat and it hates me. My God. Let's see. Hold on. Aim big. Are we good? Jesus. Tap dancing Christ. I don't know if it crashed because the computer got overloaded or did it crash because it had updates. But either way, it crashed and I don't like that shit. So I apologize for the inconvenience. So I'm going to give people a second to kind of return. Jesus Christ. I'm afraid what's going to happen when I get to Shizuka. Lord almighty. Is that what Karane does? Is that what tsunderes do? They just crash the system? Cause my God. You blonde bastard. This is what you did. You've changed the game forever. It's okay, we love you, but good God. So I'm gonna give people a chance to kind of return. What was I saying? So Karane is the most exaggerated tsundere. You will probably, well, I won't say that. She's just a super tsundere, but that means she's super tsundere in both ways. The one thing I think I always hated about tsundere characters is that tsundere characters, for lack of a better term, had a bad habit of just being overly violent and not showing enough like love afterwards. The premise of a tsundere is that like they don't know how to express the affection they have. So they resort to like violence because they don't know how to express themselves, which is fine. But for whatever reason, when it comes to like a lot of anime tsunderes, especially back in the day, they were not portrayed in the way I would prefer them to be portrayed. Karane is about what I like, where she's still violent, but she also has a lot of her like, I like you, love you moments. And I like her a lot. Now people are going to get mad for me to put her where I put her. But to me, she's a hard S. Karane has gained the ability of the straight man in comedy situations, which I love. I'd be lying if I said I don't find her and Hikari's like dynamic very adorable. They go very back and forth. I think the only thing that puts, and I'm not saying Hakari doesn't have her moments, but I think Karane's are a lot sweeter, especially with some of the other girls she gets later on in the manga that anime fans haven't seen. She also, I think she's just the stronger character between the two in their dynamic, but I do like the fact that Hakari is the one that can push Karane's buttons really easily. It's a very adorable relationship they have. I just think personally Karane is the better character. I don't know if I put her goddess tier, but I definitely like her a lot. So for the first two girls, Hakari and A, Karane and S. Let's move on to our third girl, who I imagine a lot of you are gonna put very fucking high on your own personal list. Our little fairy here, Shizuka. Shizuka is a bookworm to the degree that this woman doesn't speak, or she barely speaks. Fun fact, also, I will mention their ages as it's important, but the first three girls are all Rentaro's age. They're all in the same class with Rentaro, so they're the same age. I believe they're all 15, if I remember correctly. Let me double check. I think they're all 15. No, they're all 16. 16, right? They're all 16. Okay, I messed up. All right. So Shizuka is next. Where is she? Where is Shizuka? There she is. She's right here. So Shizuka, as I said, is a bookworm and does not talk at all. Or it's rare. She barely talks. She mainly, when you first meet her, she only speaks with books. And then as the series progresses, actually I won't even say that. I'd say right after her, I think it's right before she joins the harem, Rentaro gives her a phone that just is a text-to-speech app that vocalizes everything she wants to say, but but it's from the book that she likes, the book series that she likes. Because Rentaro's a Chad, he translated that entire book into an ebook just so she could use it as a text-to-speech thing. It's fucking great. The point I'm making is Shizuka is very quiet. She barely speaks. I think you only hear her voice a couple of times throughout the entire series, and she's very shy and timid, but she can be very daring. Shizuka is another example of a girl who I think gets better throughout the series, although I think she has a very, very strong introduction. The anime makes her introduction even better, which I didn't think was possible, because her introduction is pretty strong as it is, and it does get expanded upon a little bit later in the series. But if we're talking about my own personal list, it's funny because a lot of people know I like my shy, quiet girls as fans of characters like Hinata. But if I'm gonna rank Shizuka, at the finder game, if I'm gonna rank Shizuka for me, Shizuka also has some good connection episodes with other characters, but I think objectively she's about what I consider middle of the road. I don't hate Shizuka. Let me understand this, because let's be real here. If this is Rentaro's list, Rentaro has them all at goddess tier, but that's not what this is. I like Shizuka, but Shizuka doesn't do an insane amount for me. And she's far from being the worst girl. We will go to that girl way later. I won't even say she's the worst. She's just my least favorite of the group. But I don't mind Shizuka. She doesn't do nothing for me. It's kind of like cute girl is cute. That's literally how I look at Shizuka. Cute girl is cute, okay? Cute bookworm girl who barely speaks. I think her best gags is when she uses she uses the book, and her book language is very out of character. The funniest things are because it's from her book. Some of the phrasing is ridiculous, but other than that, I don't hate her. She's fine. I like her. And then next up was a fan favorite for me for a while. Oh, god damn it. Jesus Christ. Okay. Round 3. Jesus Christ. Okay. So what I've done is I have cut off the background music and I have lowered the resolution because I don't know what is going on. But this has been a motherfucking travesty. I don't know if it's the combination of me using the 3 screens and having just too much going on. I don't know what it is. But for the sake of testing a theory, I'm gonna just cut down on the processing, and hopefully that will alleviate some of the taxingness. At least that's my theory, because I have no fucking idea what the premise is here. But it is what it is. So we don't have any background music because apparently, if I can get through this, then that tells me it's not. I guess it was just too much. Yeah, it could just be resource heavy. So I got the task manager up on the side. The CPU seems to be hanging in a pretty decent spot, but we'll see how it goes throughout the course of the stream. So we'll see. But next girl, I think, as I was saying before, it was a fan favorite for me for a long time. Miss Nano Yai. I fucking love Nano a lot, actually. Like, I like Nano a lot. I like her design. I like her attitude. She also leads what I consider the dominant girl category for me. Like, she's the first, like, so Hakari is aggressive, but like still submissive. And Nano is just straight out like commanding. Like, it's very much like she's leading and Rentaro's following. And there's a couple of girls on the list that also do this, but she's like the first one. The waifus are too much for your computer to handle. Probably so. 100, let's go. All right, so like I said, they only get to currently we're only at 28 girls. So we're going to go through the girls and rank them. So here's my thing with Nano that I like a lot. She's a very quiet, logic-based person. A lot of her storyline is based around her kind of understanding human emotion. She very much initially delves into the premise of, if it isn't like practical or efficient, then she ain't about to humor it or do it. And that's where we're at with her. And then, of course, through her meeting Rentaro and falling in love with him, it's almost like a robot learning to love. Like, it's that premise. So Nano for me is a fan favorite still. I like her a lot. My problem with Nano is this. For a while, especially in the manga, she just wasn't getting any focus. The only time she gets focus early on is the introduction of another character, and a lot of time she spends with Shizuka. She doesn't get a lot of solo dolo stories by herself. And it kind of bums me out. She's like one of the few characters I was just like, can I get more of her, please and thank you? She, ironically enough, she's also viewed as kind of a straight man in some instances, but Karane is probably the funniest with it. So for me, it only takes a little bit to push her into what I would consider A tier. But for now, to push her in the S tier. But for right now, she's an A tier. She will literally be put in S tier if I can just get me a solid storyline with her as the focus. We get like a Thumbelina type chapter later on with her, which is a cute chapter, but it doesn't do as much as I would want it to do for her character. I'm talking about the manga. So this is, oh God, I forgot to re-explain this. This is an anime series that has a manga that the premise is that the guy is dating, is going to eventually be dating 100 girlfriends. And currently in the manga, there's only 28. So I'm ranking the 28 girls. That's why I have like the tier list here, and then I'm showing you each of the girls. But Nano only needs just a little bit, and I mean this, just a little bit, to push her in S tier. I just need a solid storyline for her, and I will be Gucci. Hakari, as she stands, does have a slight leg up on Nano. You're right. So for me, I actually prefer Nano. Yeah, he's super chat. Rentaro's super chat. The problem really is just that Nano just doesn't have a strong enough singular story for her. That's why I don't have her higher than A tier. And then here comes probably what people consider the best comic relief for the entire show. Where is she? There she is. Kusuri. Now, Kusuri is our first upperclassman. She is technically our first adult character because she's technically 18 years old. Yes, this little girl is 18. So Kusuri is what I'm gonna say this in the most respectable way I can say it. Kusuri is a meth head. Like, Kusuri's whole gimmick is drugs. She loves drugs. She loves messing around with chemicals. She's like the head of the chemistry club. She just loves drugs. But she's 18. So the reason why you're probably wondering, how is this woman 18? Well, this isn't actually what Kusuri currently looks like in the context of her normal aging. This is a result of an immortality drug that didn't work. She tried to create the drug for immortality, and it didn't work. So what we ended up getting is a lolly, which she actually looks like, and you can see her look like this occasionally. She looks like this. Let me see. She looks like that. Do they have a picture of her as a teenager? They better. Hold on. Did they not give me a teenage picture of her? That's trash. This is what she actually looks like as an 18-year-old. But she can only achieve this form by drinking a negation drug that only temporarily reverts her back to what she actually looks like as an 18-year-old. The funny thing is, she doesn't really care for this form because she likes the versatility. She has more... She thinks her breasts get in the way, and she has to wear glasses as an adult because she needs glasses. So Kusuri is our comic relief. She's the one who will be parroting other manga in this series. A lot of the chemicals she makes is the premise for a lot of the storylines we get. She just loves drugs, like to an obsessive degree. I can't even really explain it in any other way. The girl just likes working on drugs, and that's what she does. I'm not saying it. Oh, here's a better shot of her in both forms. So Kusuri for me is very comedy focused, and the problem with Kusuri is literally the fact that she's almost completely comedy focused. She does have her serious moments, but for the most part, she is very gag focused, and she's very much the causing incident for a lot of storylines. So because of it, she's kind of put in a weird spot for me. I do like her 18-year-old stuff because there are certain gags that only kick off when she's in her adult form. For example, Kusuri becomes a lot more aware of the childish things she does as an adult. So she struggles harder to like be okay with it. Like she's a character, like when she's 18, some of the more childish things she does, she like struggles with to do. My favorite is the Pentaro chapter where she's playing with this plushy penguin that she names Pentaro, which is just Penguin Rentaro. But when she turns 18, she gets embarrassed and cringy about it because she's like, yeah, you're an 18-year-old playing with a doll. Like, like that's the dynamic I like. I like that premise of a dynamic. So it's funny to me. But if you ask me where I rank her, and they have both her forms. There's her as an adult. Where's her as a child? Where is it? It's right here. So they're going to go together because they're the same character. Where I rank them is probably the hard part because being comedy focused and not having a lot of serious moments kind of hurts her, but she does her job well. Now, for me personally, she kind of hits that same level of indifference that Shizuka hits with me. I never dislike seeing her on screen, but I'm never like, oh my God, where's a Kusuri chapter? Because Kusuri's getting a gag or a joke somewhere. She's getting something. I don't know. Like, it's always coming up. Now, if you ask me which I prefer her adult form, I probably would say Shizuka's probably better written than Kusuri, which is the only reason why Shizuka's higher. But, like, if we're talking, like, personal preferences, I like her adult form more. Shizuka, I just think, is better written than Kusuri. But Kusuri is very entertaining and does the job that she's meant to do well. This is where we start getting into the problematic girls, okay? Because at this point, we're still dealing with all high school students. Like, yeah, Kusuri is 18, but it's still all high school students. That ends with our next character, Hanazoru Hahari. Now, if that last name sounds familiar to you, there's a reason for this. Hahari here is Hakari's mother. Oh my goodness. Hahari is Hakari's mother. So yes, he is dating the daughter and the mother of the same family. And they're both cool with it. Fun fact, Hakari's like head over heels nature towards Rintaro. She gets her from her mama. She also gets her figure from her mother too. But the point is, she's 29. She's 29 years old. She had Hakari when she was 13. It's not as bad as it sounds. So I'm going to give you just kind of a general premise. But first things first, in case you're wondering where she goes on the list, it's not even a question. Don't even ask me. All right. All right. So here's the situation. So I'm gonna give you Hahari's premise. So I think the anime stops at Hahari. After this, we don't have any more anime exclusive pictures because I'm recording this before the second season comes out. Okay. I'm recording this before the second season comes out. So the next set of girls will have anime design pictures, but right now they don't. So here's the deal with Hahari for those who haven't watched the anime. Hahari is 29. She had Hakari when she was 13, but she is a virgin. She is a virgin because the boy that she fell in love with and Hakari's father died from a terminal illness when he was also a middle schooler. They both fell in love in middle school, and she fell head over heels for him in middle school. But he was dying from a sickness. And with her crazy ass, she decided to get a collection of his baby juice and use it to inseminate herself, in which she had Hakari. So they never had sex. Heck, they never even kissed, technically. So she had never had her first kiss. Rintaro is her first kiss, and she currently is a virgin. But long story short, this also, although she loves Hakari to death, and she very much is the doting mother trope, she has an intrinsic fear of like Hakari falling into the same trap as she did, where she falls so head over heels for someone that she makes a bunch of decisions she shouldn't have done. Because even though she loves her daughter, having a child at 13 is kind of fucking wild. But that's what she did. And there's a whole arc around her and Hakari and the other girls that I've mentioned so far in Rintaro that ultimately leads to her also joining the harem. I'm not going to go too much into it. The biggest thing about her is that she's also a representation of the deviant character trope. She literally has an obsession with babying everybody and anybody. She babies Rintaro. She likes to baby everybody. And she is probably more perverted than her daughter. She's actually more openly perverted than her daughter as well. Her daughter just kind of stops at like wanting to have sex with Rintaro. Hahari will go that far and take it further. She's a menace. She's a menace, but I do like that they do have chapters and episodes. Well, chapters, because the episodes haven't been adapted yet. They have a lot of cool, cute chapters of her like insecurities as being an older woman. Her wishing she could have properly enjoyed her high school days because she missed a lot of it because she was taking care of a fucking baby. And the last thing that's important is that she's rich and she currently is the chairwoman of the high school that her daughter and her boyfriend and the rest of her harem attends. That happened at the end of the season of the anime. So this is like the last anime exclusive thing related character we'll have until the second season drops. But I love her to death. She's adorable. She's a deviant. And she's probably one of the only characters that's pretty close to me in age. So long story short, I am indeed about that life. Don't ask me. We here, okay? We here, okay? Next up is girl number 7. As Hahari was the first out of high school character, this is also another out of out of high school character, but in the opposite direction. So we have Karumi. Karumi is hangry. That's like the best way to describe her character. She's also in middle school. Karumi is a year younger than Rentaro. He's 16. She's 15. She's in 7th grade, essentially. 8th grade. I'm sorry, 8th grade. Because she's in her last year of middle school. So she's a 3rd year in middle school. I think it's 3rd year. Yeah, 3rd year, middle school. Do we have a full... Karumi is a character who has grown on me a lot, because I didn't used to like her that much. Give me the gallery. Where's the gallery? Y'all need a full design for it. I mean, she's only... All right. Oh, fun fact. So each of the girls, if you buy the manga, each girl is paired with the other girl that she's in the volume with. So Hahari was introduced, then Karumi. So for the volume cover, you get Karumi and Hahari. So if you wanted more Hahari, there she is. But yeah, Karumi, middle schooler, you'll always see her with some type of food in her mouth. She loves eating like crazy. And she's usually rocking her little hoodie and her headphones. I actually like Kurumi's style a lot. And if you had asked me when the series started, I would have probably put her in like C or D tier, because she's kind of annoying when she's introduced. Her whole premise is that she likes to eat and she cops an attitude if she doesn't get her food. So with that being stated, a lot of her early introduction stuff is her having these like hangry moments and wanting to eat anything and everything. But also she also joins Karane in the tsundere-ish kind of character, while also being the straight man or straight woman. Like when if Karane's a part of the joke, Karumi also will take up that job of being the straight man in a lot of gags. But I do find her adorable. She's very cute. Like I said, I didn't initially like her when I first started, but she's gotten a couple of cute storylines with some of the other girls. There was a recent tsundere focused chapter with her in it that I liked, and she's kind of grown on me a lot in recent chapters. I used to put her in, I think I'm gonna put her in B tier. Which is a step up, because she used to be around C or D in my mind when she was introduced. This is a character, this will be the first new girl introduced in the anime if you guys start the 2nd season. So look forward to seeing Karumi. I'm not going to spend too much time because we have 28 girls to go through. We've had a lot of delays, and I'm going to be real with you. We need to keep a move on. Then we have our next character, who's a character who technically is shown in the anime before you see her, before she probably introduced. This is another adult character. She is 19 years old. Her name is Meido Mei, and she is the maid of the Hanazos. So she is Hakari and Hahari's maid, and she is obsessively loyal to both of them. She's just obsessively loyal to the household. Can I get a good shot of her? No, I guess they don't have a great shot of her. I guess the closest would be the volume cover. It also helps me transition into the next girl. The main thing about Mei is that Mei is very loyal, like obsessively loyal. And she also has really pretty eyes that you will rarely see in the series, but when you do see them, it is absolutely beautiful. I can't wait until the anime gets to that chapter with her, because I love the way her eyes look, and that's like a good gag. Her loyalty is on the line of obsessiveness, and like I would say she's also a part of that like pseudo lesbian mini group thing you have going on, with hers being with primarily Hahari. Like she's loyal to Hakari as well, but like Hahari, it's shown more with Hahari than anything. Actually, that's how she's somewhat introduced into the harem, because when Hahari joins, Mei follows her as like her maid, even during like hangout sessions on the roof. There's not a lot known about her other than she's just a loyal maid to Hahari, and a lot of her gags revolve around that. But she's also, when she falls in love with Rentaro, it's the same gimmick. She's obsessively loyal to Rentaro, to the point that their date chapter is the premise of their date chapter is getting her to just engage with Rentaro not on a maid level. But spoiler, she struggles with tremendously. They do this cute animation drawing thing with her where they give her dog ears and a tail because she's so in her like I need to please mentality. It's pretty cute. May's problem is that her storylines mainly revolve around that. Actually, there it is. That's what she looks like with her eyes open. I can't wait to see what it looks like when it's colored. But that's what she looks like with her eyes open. She's very dedicated and she's very adorable. But like the problem with her is that her storylines pretty much are locked into a certain type of storytelling. So she's probably the bottom of B tier for me. I do like seeing her, but she's just not. She just doesn't have a lot extra for her that I would like. Yaku is another character who has grown on me, not as much as Karumi, but has definitely grown on me than what she used to. The two ways to describe Karumi for me is very simple. She is a masochist and she is a tomboy. She is a masochist and she is a tomboy. That's like the best way to describe her. Yeah, I think that's the best of a full body shot. She's on the baseball team, but she's like one of the only members because apparently a lot of the members went to America to train. But the point is, she's a tomboy, and she loves getting hit. She thrives on like being in pain. I don't know. They have a shot. They probably don't have a shot of her in here. No, I don't think they do. Well, that's kind of so she loves it when people hit her with stuff. There's actually a running joke with some of the other girls who will like abide by her antics that she just loves to be hit, especially in the behind. Iku, for the most part, is pretty straightforward. That's kind of what she focuses on. That's her gag. They have given her chapters that have focused more on her femininity and focused more on like her being more three-dimensional, but those aren't like the majority of the time you'll see her. The majority of the time you'll see Iku, it's hit me, the character. Like I hate to say it like that because I feel like there's a better way to describe it. I wish they had a shot of her getting hit, but yeah, here we go. She loves getting spanked. She enjoys the beating. She'll put herself in situations literally for the physical pain of it all because she thrives on that. Like I said, her recent outings have been better because they've given her more dimensions. If I had to place her, she's kind of hard because she's also grown on me, but I don't like her more than like, ooh, I'm gonna put her here. Some of these might change as we go through the girls. Some of these girls also get like some cute pair up chapters that help them out for me. But that's kind of where I think she's at. I will say the batches of like, was it 6 to 10 or 6 to 11 girls are some of the weirder girls in my opinion. I like them, but they're the ones I think I've struggled with more in recent time, except for this next one. Oh Lord. Mimi. So Mimi is also I forgot to say, Iku is, I believe, 16 as well. Yeah, so she's the same age as Rentaro. Mimi is a second year. She's a second year. Because Kusuri is the only third year we've talked to about. So Kusuri is 18, Mimi is 17. So she's also older than our boy Chad Taro. The best way I can describe Mimi to people is that Mimi is a narcissist. Mimi, like her last name is Utsukushi, which if you've heard that term before, it's Utsukushi. Her last name is a pun on that, which is Utsukushi in Japanese means beautiful. Why? Because everything about her is beautiful. So she's naturally beautiful. Beautiful this, beautiful that. Like that, I am the greatest. But she never goes, she's like, I'm naturally beautiful, or I'm naturally talented. But she never goes like it's weird. She found a way to like be very overtly I am beautiful and I am pretty, but she never gets annoying to me with it. And the best thing about her is that she has, I would call, two kind of lesbian connection characters. The one that's on the cover, which is the next girl we're going to talk about, Mei, and then Nano. Her and Nano's relationship is adorable because Nano is very much, so their past is connected. I won't go too much into it, but they used to know each other when they were younger, and now that they've joined Rintaro's family as a couple, it's like it's a whole little thing. But after the initial introduction events, their interactions are very cute. It's very much her being like, she thinks Nano is gorgeous, and she has a couple of like gay moments because of it. Like, it's very cute. While Mei here on the right has the same feelings towards Mimi, which I find that hilarious that you get two characters back to back be Mimi and Mei. It's funny. But our beautiful narcissist here, who also gets a couple of good chapters later on, you know what it is? Mimi ends up in situations that you don't expect her in that make you like her more. Like, she sometimes doesn't get full chapters displaying what she is, but the chapters she does get, like, she'll be in like other chapters and become like randomly the starring part of that chapter towards the end of it, and I absolutely love that shit. And then look at her smug ass. She's probably going in A tier for me. She's also going up for me. Not like insanely, but she's going up for me. And then next up is probably Mei, which is our black hair girl. I'm gonna just go ahead and put her in top of B tier for me. I don't think she's more red. So just because I don't fuck with my shy girls, just because I fuck more with tsunderes does not mean I don't still fuck with my shy girls. Mei is substitution jutsu the character. That's literally how I'm going to describe her to you. She is substitution jutsu the character. I just call her Hinata if Hinata had mastered the substitution jutsu. So some of this won't make sense to you, so I will explain it. Mei is another character you've seen early on, but is incredibly shy. Like, offensively shy. Actually, the anime teases her in some of the early, I think it's like episode 1 or 2, when he first starts going to high school, because she is the same age as Rintaro. So they're actually in the same class, if I remember correctly. Where is she? Yeah, chapter 16. But she has a cameo in episode 1 and 12. But Mei's whole gimmick is that she's extremely shy. That's kind of her main thing. She's just extremely shy. She fits the whole Hinata trope of being super nice and soft-spoken. Just a general pleasant person to be around. She also finds Mimi extremely beautiful and has a couple of embarrassing like gay moments about it, which also makes her fucking adorable. Because I love those kind of characters. The problem is that that's kind of her main thing, is just that. And the thing is, when she gets too embarrassed, which happens a lot, she tends to disappear. But when Mei disappears, she doesn't just like hide behind. She technically is hiding behind something, but she goes so quickly that she's learned how to do substitution jutsu. I wonder if they have a picture of it. That would be very nice if you did. Come on. They show her, but where is it? Where is it? Where is it? They didn't give me a fucking substitution jutsu picture? No, they didn't give me a substitution jutsu picture. Now I'm just sad and depressed. Damn it. But you're going to have to just trust me on this. She has a habit of like disappearing. She literally will substitute herself out with like a plushie and then just disappear. It's very funny and adorable. But for God's sakes, they didn't fucking give me a picture, so now I'm sad about it. Mei is also known for having like humongous boobs, which is something I normally don't bring up because you can tell by designs if she has humongous boobs. But the reason why this is important is because she's also very insecure about her giant breasts to the point where she wears like a body shaper. The only time this is revealed in her introduction chapter, where Rentaro finds her and it breaks because she spent too much time trying the substitution jutsu all around the goddamn manga. But she's very cute. She's very adorable. She just suffers the problem of not having more solo stories. And the few solo stories she does have are just not really anything crazy other than just cute shit. She kind of works better with her smaller interactions with the other girls. But I still like Mei Mei a lot. I like her a lot. Next girl. We're in the 11 to 20. This is the one. Okay, so here's the kicker. The anime is going to end on Mei Mei. So if they get a third season, Chio will start that season off. Chio is the most controversial girl on this series. And for those of you who may be wondering, why is Chio here the most controversial girl? She looks like she rocks glasses. Let me tell you why she is the most controversial character. So here's the first problem. I almost think this is a joke. Chio is only 12 years old. This is the first problem. Chio is only 12 years old. Kicker is also, she's the 12th girlfriend. I don't even think I noticed that initially. That's a good fucking joke. That means she's also I believe that makes her first year. Yeah, she's a first year in middle school. So I believe she's in the same middle school as like Karumi. So she's 12 years old. Now, granted, Rentaro's 15, but it's still, 12 years old. That's the first problem. That's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is Rentaro is not only her boyfriend, he's also her cousin. And I'm not even talking like kind of removed cousin. No, they're like first cousins. Oh God. So it's the incestuous cousin trope that Japan likes to do. And here's the kicker. You know what her personality quirk is? She's obsessive about order and organization. She can't stand things being out of order or she's how do I put this? She's very rule focused. That's the best way to put it. She can't stand disorder and rule breaking, which is funny considering the character who's all about rules and order is dating her cousin and is 12 years old. Oh my God. She's the only character in the manga currently that fans still struggle with. I think most people have accepted her, but they very much struggle with her for a while. She struggled. She does have one cute other gimmick, which is if she loses her glasses, which I think is some sort of tribute to Velma. It may not be. But when she loses her glasses, she gets anxious and she starts crying. She kind of has she has a mother complex because her mother's dead. She only has her father left. And her father's weirdly, and I mean this, weirdly supportive of Chio's relationship with Rentaro, which, is his fucking nephew. So it's what? What is going on here? Fun fact, we haven't even met Rentaro's parents yet. I find that the most interesting of anything. But yeah, she's a rule-focused character who has her anxiety baby moments if she loses her glasses. And she's the youngest. I think she currently is the youngest girlfriend. And she's the only blood relative of Rentaro who she's dating. So Chio, unfortunately, just for a lot. Now, granted, she's had good chapters. And the character she's paired with in the manga next kind of helps her out. in terms of making her more likable. But she was fighting an uphill battle from jump, bro. She was fighting an uphill battle from jump. Like there's no other way to describe it. She literally struggles. She also has like a gurring face she tends to do every time something's out of order or if a rule is broken. And she has a mommy complex because her mother's dead. If I'm going to rank Chio's a hard sell for a lot of people. I think I can't put her any higher than C tier. And she could be top of C. But that's about the best I'm going to be able to do for Chio. Because good God, she is struggling. She does have some cute moments. And she tends to hang out with the other girls who are also considered lollies. Like her, Shizuka, and Kusuri. The irony being here is that she's the youngest of the three of them. Like by next to Kusuri, she's 6 years younger than Kusuri, and like 4 years younger than Shizuka. But the point is, Chio just has a lot. And then we come to our next adult character. And she, goddamn it, she's probably a doozy for a lot of people. I can't even be mad at it, bruh. We got Yamato Nadeshiko, or as most people will know her as, Naddy. Naddy is 24. I'm going to explain it. And Naddy is what I like to call a freeaboo. I love this terminology. So what she actually is she's a person, a Japanese person, who is obsessed with America. Like, and I mean obsessed with America. I'm going to show you what her default outfit is. But just know, she's at least A tier to me, with premises of going to S. She's probably right here. It's probably where I put Naddy. Naddy can, we'll see how I feel in a little bit, but Naddy is a strong A tier, borderlining S tier for me. Okay. I wonder if they should have a picture of her actual outfit. She is a character who loves America. And I mean she loves America. Her outfit is a cowboy outfit with the U.S. flag as a neckerchief. Like, she is American obsessed. I wonder if they have a better look at her outfit, because I want it. Yeah, here it is. You can see more of it here. She is so America obsessed. She rocks essentially an American outfit. The kicker being is that she's fully Japanese. Naddy apparently became obsessed with America at a young age and never got over it. She actually got disowned by her family because she was so obsessed with America, leading to one of my favorite panels from her that I bet they don't have in here. Yes, that's exactly what you think it is. Where is it? They probably don't have it in here, which makes me sad. It makes me sad. I don't think it's in here. Fuck me. Just know, Naddy got disowned by her family and currently is a school teacher at the high school they teach. I mean, the high school that Rentaro goes to. Ironically enough, I think she's the English teacher. Because, ironically enough, when you hear Naddy talk, Naddy speaks in primarily like broken English / like American slang, okay? Funny enough, though, Naddy is insanely fluent at Japanese, and I do mean that. Naddy is actually really good at fluent Japanese. The way I know that Naddy's really good at Japanese is for one gimmick specifically. If Naddy gets cornered or pressured by other people, primarily like other adults / authority figures like the cops, she will revert into like her traditional Japanese self. But her love for America is like this like freedom obsession. And it makes sense because Japan is known for having very oppressive like work conditions and lifestyle. Like doing anything out of what they consider the standard is very hard. And Naddy very much is one of those kind of people. She wants to just live her life through freedom. And so she does. And she, like, give an example. This is what Naddy used to look like as a child. Like, yeah, there's another one of her look. This is what Naddy looks like as a kid. Where is it? Yeah, this is her full outfit. Yeah, there it is. That's her full outfit. That's what Naddy used to look like as a child. Naddy dyed her hair blonde. Her hair's not even naturally blonde. It's black. And she wore a Japanese kimono. Once she became obsessed with America, she never wore that shit again. But yeah, we like Naddy a lot. And I do mean, and she's ironically enough, she's paired with Chio. But yeah, we like Naddy a lot. Naddy is a strong A. She's had a couple of chapters that have made her really cute, but I think a A is where she's gonna go and stay for me. Let's go on to our next batch because I think we're a little bit over halfway. Not even halfway yet. We're almost halfway. I think, is this the next one or am I making sure? Did I miss something? No, Yamame. Yamame is a weird thing for me. Yamame is a big ass country girl. I think that's the best way I can put her. She's a big ass country girl. We like Yamame, but that's like her whole gimmick. She's from the country. She's tall as shit. And she loves nature to the point of obsession. Like she refuses to harm any nature or wildlife. But she's huge. She's fucking huge. Big ass country girl. And she's huge. There's like more, it's not like a lot more to it. Just know my favorite chapter with her is the one with her and Hakari, where Hakari is trying to teach her how to be sexy. That's why I say there are chapters that make other girls look good. I think that does more for Hakari than it does Yamame, but I do like it for both, where she's teaching Yamame how to be sexy. Because Hakari does do that thing where she where she can be sexy on her own. Although, like I said, she gets it from her mama, but that's besides the point. Yamame's probably a strong B for me. She probably goes about here. She goes about there for me. There's not a lot to her other than that. Not that I don't like her. There's just not a lot extra to her. She loves nature. She's tall as shit, and she loves nature. She's a big country nature girl. And she's cute, but that's like a lot. That's like the most you get out of her. And she says I after a lot of her statements. Then we have another middle schooler. But she is a third year middle school. So she's about to graduate. I believe she's in the same class as Karumi, I believe. Momiji is a tiny little girl in middle school whose main gimmick is a sexual harassment. That's what I like to call it. Her whole gimmick is that she likes to grope things. A lot. Yeah, here we go. This is good. This is the best example. She loves groping soft things. She loves groping soft items. And this includes women's thighs, breasts, and buttocks. She just likes to grope shit. Momiji, and she also has a very cute underbite, which I don't think they have in here. But Momoji's a pretty, and she's also very like straight-faced. Like she doesn't really, her face doesn't really change too much. I think that's concept art. We do get the, yeah, Momoji's very like just straight-faced. She's very cute in design, but her whole gimmick is that she likes to grope things. She's going to put her hands on you and she's going to massage you until you say no, and then she's going to keep massaging you. And Momoji's, like I said, Momiji unfortunately falls in that line of like cute girl with a cute gimmick, but like nothing too crazy. I believe this is Momiji here. I'm not sure. Hold on, let me make sure. I think that's Momiji. Yeah, I think that's Momiji. The way they have her drawn is kind of weird. I probably would put her. She's going around here. I'm gonna say there. I like Momiji, but Momiji just doesn't have a lot extra to her that really sticks her out. She kind of works more as a background character, and they use her a lot for that stuff. She gets a couple of cute chapters with Karumi that I like, and a couple of other chapters with the fellow lollies, but like not too much. And now we're getting into the good shit. The good shit is when it starts kicking off, and I'm like, let's go. First off is Yaku. So in case you were wondering, do we have any more older women? We do. She is what is it, 89 years old, I believe. She is 89 years old. But of course, you probably be questioning why she looks like a young woman. Is it that same anime trope again? The answer is yes, but that's not the core of it. Yaku, as I call her, is technically the grandmother of Kusuri. So we have some more family dynamic going on. So there's a chapter where we meet Kusuri's family, including her mother, her father, and I think her siblings, I think. But the person we meet that Rentaro sings with is Yaku. Because Yaku is about that life. And just to give context, her whole family's been drugged out. The entirety of Kusuri's family is drugged out. Like, they've all taken drugs and they all look younger than what they're supposed to. Yaku having the biggest age discrepancy, going from 89 to looking like she's 8 years old. The gimmick that's different, I guess, somewhat with Yaku is that Yaku doesn't do that gimmick of being 89 years old and acting like an 8-year-old. No, she just looks 8. She acts like the same 80-year-old woman she is, okay? Which is very funny because they give her a bunch of like gags where she struggles in remembering people's names. She's not good with technology. My favorite gag is that every time you give her a cell phone, like Kusuri gives her a cell phone to help her remember things and to call people. And Yaku's response is to throw that shit on the ground. And Kusuri's like, what in the fuck, grandma? No. She also gets some cute moments because of it, though, because she has a charm of an older woman while still looking like an 8-year-old. Yaku's another, like, you could technically hit. The only thing that's weird is that we never get to see Yaku. Like, Yaku doesn't do the thing where she can look like she's 80. She just looks, this is how she looks. She just looks like she's 8, essentially. Yaku, rating-wise, probably goes, oof. She's probably high B. She's probably right up here with her granddaughter, honestly. I like her a lot. I think her granddaughter has more gags, but I like her. Yeah, that might change. The Yaku's like up there for me. You know what? I'm going to switch. I think Shizuka technically should be above Meme. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's more fair. That's where I'm at. But I like Yaku a lot. Yaku has a couple of good moments in her interactions. The problem is, like, her old gag is probably the thing that, like, I get the gag. I just don't like the gag. I don't care for the gag like that. Like, I don't mind it, but I just don't love it. But she's still an enjoyable character. And then we come to another favorite. Oh, Kishika. Or Kishika. I don't know how you actually pronounce it, but I always go Kishika. I think that's how I would have pronounced it, but I think it's actually Kishika. She's another 18-year-old. She's the only other girl confirmed to be in the same class as Kusuri. So her and Kusuri share a class. I'm going to tell you right now, S. I love Kishika. So Kishika's also in that same group of like Nano, where she's like a dominant girl. Like when you see her and Rentaro interact, she very much is the one dominating the situation. It's like she's the one that'll do like the hand over the, like if you're like imagine you're on the wall and I'm doing the hand thing. I would be Kishika in this situation. Rentaro would be like, oh, that she's one of those girls, which is already good for me. But on top of that, she also rocks my ponytail combo, which, you know, fucking makes it even better. And then if that wasn't good enough, I love her gag. I love her gag. This is also some of the girls. So Kishika's gag is very simple. When Kishika was a child, she is the oldest of like, I forget how many siblings. This is a good amount of siblings. Kishika is the oldest of like, I think it's like 7 siblings, I want to say. And this is important. Yeah, here she is. And this is important because Kishika is also the captain of the Kendo Club. But with her overt like big sister complex, she tends to like she became incredibly mature at a young age. But the gag that she has is my favorite gag. Because of this gag, because of this premise, she missed out on kind of being a child during her childhood. And the one thing that Kishika very much craves more than anything is to be pampered and coddled like a baby. And to the point that when the first chapter her and Rentaro meet and he runs across her, she is sitting under the bridge with a fucking tape recorder that's giving her like words of affirmation. And then she has a fucking hand on a stick and she is self-head patting herself with this hand on a stick while listening to these words of affirmation under a bridge. That's how bad her need for like coddling and like being like babied is. But that's not even the best part of the gag. The best part of the gag is that when Rentaro's like, I can do that for you if it's a problem. Here's what happens to Kishika when you give her what she wants. She goes full baby mode. She goes full baby mode. Like, so the running joke is that she calls Rentaro daddy when she gets into this mode. Because she can't, like, she's gone. She slipped into full infant mode. I think it's only recently where she calls him like boyfriend and shit. But like before, she goes straight into like daddy, and you're just like, and I remember seeing it and being like, no, she's gonna be like top 10. Fuck. She's absolutely top 10. Fuck no. So I can't. People think this is weird, and you're probably right. But it is absolutely adorable. Now it's not just Rentaro. If anybody babies her, she goes into this. And she slips into it really easily. She ends up doing some things later, but the running joke that makes it even funnier is if she does anything that's incredibly embarrassing, and she does do some things later on that are incredibly embarrassing in that mode, she'll when she comes out of it, she immediately goes into like, please kill me. Like she immediately gets embarrassed from her actions and literally doesn't know how to process it. So she goes immediately like, just kill me. Kill me. Like that's immediately her thought process because she doesn't know how to handle it. She's just like, ah. And I love that too. She's adorable. She's fucking adorable. I want y'all to know she's adorable. Fucking A S tier, damn it. She would easily go in goddess tier. I only need a little bit more to get these girls in the goddess tier. But right now, it's just, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, here's our first Garu. Here's our Garu character. Her name is Arashi Kedaruri. But in the series, she's mainly called Ahko. We're not even going to talk about this one in the way I want to. Just know that she is an adorable Garu who has resting cute face. She struggles the most. Well, the way they describe it is this. Ahko has low blood pressure, which makes her a girl who only smiles and has poor physical fitness. That's like the best way to describe it. I don't want to put her in goddess tier. But like I said, a lot of the girls in S can easily go in goddess tier. Ahko is a very Garu who has a high cute obsession. I love her design. I love her personality. She has a really good chapter with Karane. She's just a very cute character. She consistently is like it for me, dog. And she has like a bunch of, and she uses a lot of slang. Like she'll go like dead ass, it sends me, no cap. Like she uses a lot of like internet slang. And I fucking love her. I love her to death. I can't even, like she's a Garu. She's a cute Garu. She also isn't like a fucking like mean girl Garu. Like she doesn't like bullying of other people. She actually got exercise from her friend group because of how she was. Because of the infighting that was happening with the other girls. Like she's such a good girl. I fucking and they use her a lot with other girls that makes her just great. She's up there, damn it. And then we have Udo. Then we have Udo. Udo is, oh my god. Okay. So Udo obviously is the girl in the green over here in her little Robin Hood kind of outfit. So, how do I say this? How do I talk about Udo real quick? Well, let me make sure there's no other cute Ahko. Oh, there is a couple of cute ones. Fucking love Ahko. She's so cute. She's so fucking cute. She's so cute. She's so cute. She is like, they try to do like, there's like a chapter where her and Rintaro are trying to do like, I think it's either a TikTok or a YouTube channel. And they keep getting distracted because this bitch keeps trying to make out with Rintaro during these recordings. And that woman in the gag at the end of the chapter is, she's like, all right, I'm done with this. Now we don't have to hold each other back. And he was like, what? And bruh, the makeout section was ridiculous. Only to realize that the camera was still on. So the other girls got to see the long ass makeout session. Dog, I love her. I love her. All right, let's get to Udo. So Udo is a chuny. She is a chuny BO, but I like to call her. She's also the other middle schooler we have. She's a was it second year? Yeah, she's a second year middle schooler. So she's like younger than Karumi, but like older than Chio. So she also is playing that dangerous age issue. But she's a Chunibyo, but I like to call her a Chunibyo of D&D. That's what I like to call her. She's more of like a D&D Chuni because her whole gimmick is like being a bard. Like a bard from like a Dungeons and Dragons thing. She plays like an ocarina. She like wanders the world and she talks like in that way. That's just how she engages. The only cute thing about her that kicks off sometimes is that she's kind of a scaredy cat, and when you throw off her game, it's very obvious, like they're here. Don't ask why. This was a double date situation. They did some of the Chuny stuff for Udo, and then Ahko took them to like a Garu cafe, but then Rintaro had the cross dress, and we're not going to talk about it. Just know that it was adorable. But once again, it more is a reflection of Ahko's adorableness, and it just happens to put Udo in a better light. Udo isn't bad. Udo, I just don't think is my type of chick. I think that's the problem with Udo. On top of the fact that she's 14, all right? 14 is the biggest issue. Got something in my fucking eye. Like, her being 14 is the biggest issue, but her tuniness is not towards anime at all. It's very towards just like being a bard and wandering. Like, that's her whole gimmick, which isn't bad. It's just not my type of thing. So I don't really fuck with her in the way that some other characters do. So for Udo's probably going like, I'd probably say a little bit better than, you know what? I'd probably say Chio's better. Yeah, I'd probably say Chio's better. Yeah, it's just not a lot for her. Like, I like her, I just don't really love her. That's like my biggest thing with her. I like her, but but she's like low tier. Like, she doesn't have enough. They have done some stuff with her recently I kind of okay with, but like it's a slow grind. Her character is a slow grind. Let me see. So next girl, where are we at? And then the last of the 11 through 20 squad. Another maid. So this is a syscon maid. This is what I like to call her. So this is Meido Mai. Damn, Meido doesn't have any. She doesn't have a lot of arc work. That's a little surprising. So Meido Mai is also another Hanazo maid. That's what she is. She is another maid who lives in the lives in the Hahari estate, right? The thing that makes her different is really a couple of things. So Mai here is clumsy as shit. One of her running jokes is that she is super clumsy. She's also another maid character who's been introduced visually chapters ago, but is only revealed to be a girlfriend way later. But early on, she is shown, but we just don't. She never runs into Rentaro directly, so they never zing. But yeah, she's a girlfriend. The big thing is that she is a super clumsy girl, and she also is a siscon. So her and Meido, her and Mei are not related at all. But she calls Mei her big sister and is obsessively about this. That's my big sister. I love my big sister. Big sister, big sister, big sister. Okay? That's where she's at. Big sister. To the point where her gag, when she does fall for Rentaro, her running gag with Rentaro is that she's constantly conflicted between who she loves more. Like, she prioritizes her sister, but she does love Rentaro. She does have some cute moments, and I actually do like her more than her big sister, ironically enough. Her big sister. But she can be super annoying early on. Because the way she's introduced and the fact that, like, anytime she's with Rentaro, it's like a struggle to get her to be, like, honest with him. She's worse than Karane in that way. Like, she just struggles. She's probably the hardest. She's probably the most aggressive of the tsunderes we have currently. But once, the funniest thing to me is they had to, like, declare their love to Rentaro, and it was her, Karane, and Karumi. Karumi was the first. Karane, it took a minute, but Mai struggled the most. Essentially, she spent half of it berating him from trying to take Mei from her. Take Mei from her. But it showed like a gauge. Once she ran out of all of those hates, she was eventually like, I hate all of that, but I love you. And she also puts him in shoujo mode. She has like a shoujo mode for Rentaro where she thinks Rentaro is absurdly hot. She thinks Rentaro is absurdly hot. It's hilarious. Because she flips between those two modes all the time. Fucking love it. So I actually like her more than her sister, her big sister. I probably like her more than... She's probably about here for me. Yeah, she's probably about here for me. But Mai is a lot. But we like Mai. We do like Mai. And now we're on to the last batch. Not fully 20, but not fully 30, but 28. So first off is Momaha. Another adult. And she's 27 years old. And she's the ethics teacher at the school. So she's probably going... Ooh. Where do I put her? Oh, Momaha I'm gonna have to struggle with for a little bit. That's not permanent. I don't know. She's definitely going... I don't think she goes S tier. She's probably A tier. Do I put her that high though? Ooh, I think she's fine for right now, but we'll see. So Momaha is a teacher and an ethics teacher, but she's also a walking contradiction. Because Momaha is an alcoholic. She's sex obsessed. She's one of those. I think she gambles as well, I believe. Oh, let me make sure. She drinks. She's bad with her money. She loves foods and gambling, and she'll offer to have sex with certain people. The only student she's actually asked for sex is Rentaro, to be fair here. To be fair, She's only asked Rentaro for sex, but still, you just asked a student for sex, which is, kind of concerning. Also, while being the ethics teacher. Bruh. Momaha is entertaining. She kind of falls into the same. There's a chapter with her, Iku, and Hahari, and they all kind of have their own little vice. Momaha is all about getting drunk and having fun and fucking around, to the point that they made a chapter of what it would look like if some of the other girls got drunk. But the way they do it is fucking hilarious. So I'm not going to break that. I'm not going to ruin that chapter for y'all. But Momaha is an ethics teacher who, ironically enough, her running gag is telling people not to be like her. Her running gag is to be like, don't be like me. I am not a good example of a person you should strive to be like. It's hilarious because she's aware of it to the point that she knows that she's not something to model after, but she doesn't care enough to change it. The funny thing is, as her chapter, Rentaro's first reaction to Momaha is that she's a fucking loser. Like I think he even says it in the chapter. The chapter where he meets her, he's like, she's a fucking loser. You're just like, what? You're like, Rentaro, chill. Like, what the hell's going on here? And it kind of cracks me up. We also need a full body picture of Momaha. Damn it. I guess the further we go down the list, the harder it is going to be to find pictures of the girls, but we're going to get some decent ones. So here's a couple of decent ones. But yeah. But the thing is that Momaha actually is surprisingly more hardworking than she's initially shown. She actually does things. So she's actually the president of, I believe, the Horticulture Club, which Yamame is a part of. That's how they meet. He's helping Yamame do some stuff for the club, and that's how he meets Momaha. But she also is homeless currently. She doesn't even live in an apartment. She lives in a tent. And it wasn't until Hahari became chairwoman that she allowed her to sleep on campus. So Momaha currently sleeps on campus, but also is still in a tent. But yeah, she's incredibly hardworking. She cares about Yame a lot. Like, even though she spends all her money on things, one of the things she does spend her money on is new tools for the Horticulture Club. So she's a good person. She has a lot of things that fuck her up in terms of like living as an adult. But at least she's self-aware enough to be like, don't be like me. Like, it's such a weird premise of a character, but she works for me. I fuck with it. And I also like her design a lot. She's very cute. She's very low-key. She got it. She got it. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Then here comes another middle schooler. I believe she's another middle schooler, if I remember correctly. Hold on, let me make sure. Yeah. Bio-Rin. If you don't get the pun with her name, try again. Her name is Bio-Rin. You know what the pun is? You know what she likes to do? Play the violin. It's not that good of a joke, but god damn it. So she's one of the newer girls that hasn't gotten like a fuck ton of stuff for yet. And that's going to be the issue with the last batch of girls, that they just haven't gotten an insane amount of stuff. But Rin's character trait is that she's a violinist. She's also in middle school. She's 14 years old. And she has an obsession. So I'm just going to quickly explain her backstory. When Rin was a young girl, she accidentally ended up watching Resident Evil as a child. Yes, that Resident Evil. The Resident Evil you're thinking of, it's that Resident Evil. I think they even just call it Resident Evil. It's not even like changed in the manga. It's just she watched Resident Evil as a kid, and through watching Resident Evil became obsessed with violence. Like, she fucking loves violence. She's one of the girls I talked about who plays into like Iku's masochism. She loves violence. Actually, the bio part in her name kind of goes into like, it's also referencing Resident Evil, Biohazard. So she is violence obsessed. It's funny they show this picture of her. Because although she is a cute middle school girl, here it is. She loves violence. And she has a catchphrase, molto violento. Molto violento. That's what she likes. Every time she gets to indulge in her violent obsession. Now, granted, she doesn't hurt people. She just likes random acts of violence. Even if it's something like this, like an accidental, like, stabbing a teddy bear in the eye. She loves it. They actually, when they meet, any, like, I think Rentaro gets, like, a cut on his hand, and she's just blushing off of the cut. Like, it's just the idea of violence and blood and gore. She is all about that life. She is somewhat insecure of it, and she also... And I don't think there's a scene of her that shows it off. There it is. She also rocks the shark teeth trope. Man, I don't know what to tell you, but for whatever reason, I have been on a mood of fucking with the girls with the shark teeth trope. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me how. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Like that's all I can say. Also, I'm going to have to go outside soon because I left my... because I gotta go get my trash. So we're only gonna be here for a little bit while longer. But just know, man, I'm all about the shark teeth girl who loves violence, okay? The problem is that she's still too new and she doesn't have a lot for her yet, but she's definitely an early strong contender. She's probably going about here. I got a lot in B tier because I don't have a lot of girls I don't like. Although, with that being said, here's one of them I don't like that much. Okay. So, Hifumi Sue, who I also believe is a middle schooler, isn't she? No, she's she's the same age. I'm lying. She's the same age as Rentaro. She's 16. So here's the thing about Sue. Sue is not overly enjoyable as a character because of her gimmick. Sue's whole gimmick is that she loves numbers. That is it. She obsessively loves numbers to the point where she'll try to position her body to look like numbers. She'll shape herself like a 2 and do the thing with her arms like this. She'll do this she'll like stand up straight like this for a 1. She does the O for the O and then like this for like a 9 or an 8. Like, she's obsessed with numbers. That is literally her only gimmick, and she is uninterested in anything that doesn't involve numbers. That's why with her, Rentaro had to kind of like prove himself for her to even want to date him. There's not much else to say about Sue. She just likes numbers. And unfortunately, it's not that engaging. She's probably in the same tier. I actually would say she's probably my least favorite of the girls currently. Because there's just not a lot to her. She arguably can go in D tier. But they're working on her, so I'm going to leave her at C. But she can easily go in D tier, honestly, for me personally. But they're working on her, so I'm going to leave her alone for right now. And then we come to another baddie. I can already tell the studio is going to be about this life. Because welcome to Kaho Eira. Eira's gimmick is one, first off, we have a mixed race character. She is Brazilian and Japanese. All of you stop paying me any attention when I said Brazilian, because dog. Yeah. And also, she's 19. And on top of that, she practices, I don't know how to pronounce this, it's like Copieria. capoeira, I think is how you pronounce it. It's essentially like some sort of like kickboxing, not kickboxing, but it's like a martial art. She's a martial artist, right? And she's in college. And Eira is a baddie. She is another like dominant kind of girl, which means she at least is gonna hit A tier for me. She's probably low A tier because she hasn't had a lot of extra time for her. Like I said, the newer girls suffer in that way, but I fuck with the design and the premise. So you're probably wondering, well, what's Eira's gimmick, right? Everyone seems to have a gimmick or a gag, right? Eira's gimmick is Eira's whole thing, and I hate to do it. Eira's biggest issue of a character is that she is a very mature woman until she is faced with something that she cannot kick. What I mean by that is if it's something that she can't deal with a kick, then she becomes a coward. Like, it scares the living daylights out of her. Like, she barrel rolls. Damn! Sorry. I had a... I can't believe they had the nerve to give her that. Yeah. But Eira's whole problem is that she's terrified of things that she cannot deal with a kick. And that means exactly what it means. That means babies, that means cats, that means concepts like loneliness and death. She can't handle it. It scares the daylights out of her. So she's like a badass scaredy cat of anything she can't kick. It's like her kicking ability. It's like if she can't solve it with her fist, it's it. Not that she's even violent or a tomboy, but it just fucks with her. She like conceptually can't deal. And I don't care because she's cute. She's so cute. Also, you gave me a Brazilian girlfriend, so that's what we're doing. Well, unfortunately, we're getting down to the last batch, and we need to kind of blitz this to a degree because we're going on almost 9 o'clock, and it's kind of a problem. So next one is another adult. She is 21. Her name is Nekonari Tama. Nekonari Tama is definitely going in 18. I can't take it, dog. Yeah, I don't know if she's going to say low A tier, but she's definitely A tier for me. She low-key can go, she debatably can easily go higher, honestly, depending on how I feel about it. So Nekonari's gimmick is simple. Nekonari is a cat girl, but not literally. She's just a cat girl in premise. Some of you might be confused. She doesn't even have a gallery. Fuck, this is not going to work out. This is how you're going to get a Nekonari because they don't have a picture of Nekonari other than this. Nekonari's whole thing is that she used to be an office worker and she hated her job. She hated working. What Nekonari wants to do is just be a cat and chill for the rest of her life. And she actually contemplated committing suicide in her backstory. She was like, I could just end this life now and hope the next life turns me into a cat. The problem is there's no guarantee of that. And she herself believes she has bad luck. So she said, I'm not going to be a cat in that life. I'm going to be a cat in this life. So she quit her job and pretty much dedicated herself to the life of a cat. The problem is you can't be 21 with no job and live in an apartment without having any source of money. So the way they meet is actually she's sitting in an adoption box waiting to be adopted because essentially she wants to be adopted by someone as their cat. But she just wants to be a cat. So Rentaro attempts to do this, but Rentaro obviously is a young teenage boy who is 5 years younger than her and can't afford it. In later chapters, she does eventually get a part-time job, but the whole premise is that she don't like adulting. Adulting sucks. So she ain't gonna adult no more, and she gonna be a cat. That's what Nekonari is, just a cat. But I love her. I love her design. I love her premise. She literally pretends to be a cat the whole time. Those are fake ears and she has a fake tail. But I don't care. She's 21 and she's adorable. And she very much connects with every adult's feeling of, I don't want to do this adult shit today. Everybody has that moment. Every adult has that moment or day. Some of you have it multiple times of being like, I don't want to do this adult shit right now. That is Nekonari as a whole character. I don't like adulting, so I'm not going to do it. And because of that, she's at least going in A tier. I'm debating A tier now. Ooh. I like her. She just hasn't had a lot of chapters. I do like the chapter with her and Hahari. But, oof. We'll see. They're going to be low A tier for now. I can see them falling in the B tier if some shit happens, but right now they're staying in the low A tier. And then we're down to our last three. First thing is Himika. Himika really doesn't have a lot of chapters to her and a lot of like side stories, so of course it's gonna be kind of a similar issue. She also doesn't have a gallery for her, because of course she doesn't. And I hate that she doesn't, because there's one visual gag with her face I like. Himika is a pop idol. Himika is a well-known pop idol who, and I think her pop idol name is Kiki. Yeah, it's Kiki. She is a pop idol and very successful pop idol. But Kiki got a problem. Kiki has an obsession with being abnormal. Funnily enough, I think there's another character in anime that has this exact same issue. Is it in Madaka? It might be in Madaka I'm thinking of. I feel like it's in Madaka I'm thinking of. But the point is, she has an obsession with being abnormal. She wants to be viewed as an abnormal genius because she's tired of just being viewed as like a normal genius or like sensation. She is obsessed with the idea of being an abnormal genius. And so she'll go out of her way to do weird shit. Like eat with chopsticks backwards. She half of the reason why she wants to date Rentaro is because he has 25 other girlfriends at the time. And that's abnormal. She loves abnormal shit. She actually ends up creating somewhat of a bond with Uto around this abnormality, which I'm perfectly fine with because it helps Uto kind of help grow as a character. So she's still like new-ish. I like her design and I like her premise. She just hasn't had a lot of time. Actually, they use her gag is this. Anytime she does some abnormal shit, she always has like a smug face. Himika probably will go probably go around where Ren is at, actually. These trio right here are like girls I want to put higher. I just don't have more of. Specifically, every time I get she goes up a little bit higher on my list. But Himika, she's just too new. That's the problem with Himika. She's just too new. And now we're down to the last two. These are the last two that were just introduced. The first one is Dei Matsuri. Matsuri here is also half Japanese, but half British. She's also 13. So, yeah. So, and weirdly enough, she's half British, half Japanese, and dresses like a gothic Lolita. Don't ask me what the fuck. Like, she's only been in the manga for like less than 10 chapters currently. Like, she just doesn't have a lot for her. The short version is that she loves festivals. She loves festivals to death. And she loves enjoying it. She also speaks in like a weird kind of inflection. I always like to call it like it's an exaggerated British accent. That's what they call it. But yeah, she's 13 years old still. She's also in the same class as Chio. Even though weirdly enough, she's in the same class as Chio, even though she's older than Chio. But the point is, she's a British, half Japanese, half British, gothic Lolita girl who loves festivals. There's not a lot to her. She's okay. She kind of just hangs in the bottom because, once again, There's not enough for her. And I'm not gonna say I don't like her gimmick, but like there are some girls their gimmick was introduced and I immediately connected. Like Nikonare here, Tama. I immediately liked her and her gimmick. But some girls don't have that. Which brings us to our last character. And it's funny I mentioned Tama because our last girl is Usami Shina. And you know what Usami Shina is, but not in the same way Tama is. Usami Shina is a bunny girl, okay? But only like in the terms of her design and theming, not in the context of like she actually identifies as a bunny girl. But like her hair, the animated, there's not a good picture of her, but her hair is like shaped like bunny ears, for example. And she's a year older than Rintaro. If you ask me, this character only has maybe 2 chapters to her name. Like 2 or 3 chapters. Like she literally was introduced like a few weeks ago. And so you probably would ask, well, she's new. She'd probably go down in like low B tier. Actually, I'd probably put Day probably around here. Only because of that. But you're like, well, she probably would go somewhere with, no, she's probably going A. So if anyone knows anything about me, you know, I love bunny girls a lot. I like bunnies in general. Rabbits are my favorite animal, okay? And her whole gimmick is that she has rabbit qualities. She runs fast. She rocks bunnies in her outfit and in her hairstyle. She even has a tooth shape like a rabbit's. But the main gimmick, because of how she's also been the most interesting introduced so far. So she's introduced before she even zings with Rintaro. She's one of the first girls that were introduced. She's introduced to the other girls before she's introduced to Rintaro. So they haven't even zinged yet. So Usami here has an issue. So if anyone's seen those videos or pictures of guys or people with holes in their hands, there's like a bunch of different holes. I think it's called a trypophobia or some shit like that. She has reverse trypophobia. Trypophobia being like the fear of like holes, or in this concept, loneliness. She is the opposite. She has a crippling fear of loneliness. She likes the idea, she loves the idea actually, of being with someone or somebody or a big ass group. She hates being by herself. Like, she won't even go to the bathroom by herself. That's how she is. The fear of loneliness is her most crippling issue. She can't stand being alone. She hates it. And this is important because the way she's introduced is she just jumps into the group of girls while they're talking about Rintaro before Rintaro gets there, right? She's not, but she doesn't like... She is way too aware of everybody. She knows all the girls' names. She knows Rintaro's name. She's been I think it's revealed in the next chapter, she's been spying on them and she just wants to join their group because she has a fear of being alone. Like, she just does not like being by herself. And fuck me, you can't give me a cute ass bunny girl who has a fear of being alone. It's so cute. It's so cute. I can't stand it. It's like my favorite animal with a cute ass design. And she looks like a girl of age because she's older than Rintaro. She's also taller than Rintaro. And that is absolutely it. No, I can't. We fuck heavy. We fuck heavy with it. We can't. We can't even. We can't, bro. We can't do it. We can't do it. We can't do it. We can't do it. She is. So she goes in A tier just off of the premise because I liked her introduction so much. Okay, and obviously Rintaro goes in Chat Taro section because of course he does. I highly suggest for you guys, if you haven't seen this series and you want to check it out, Read the manga. Ooh. I just want to put this in context. I've already been collecting the manga. We are absolutely about this life, okay? And actually, I think this is where the anime is going to stop, is this volume. So, get on it, because the series is great. There's a bunch of great girls here. Some of them have some work to do, but hell, we're only at 168 chapters in the manga, and the anime's only covered like 5 of these girls, 5 or 6. Wait, one. Hakari, Karane, Shizuka, Nano, Kusuri. No, it's covered 6 of the girls. 6 out of the 28, which there might be like 30 in the next few months, but we'll see. The point is, this is greatness. This is the wall of greatness that you should look at and abide to and know this is the ranking I have. As far as me, let me go over the ranking one more time before I get out of here. I just want to see if I want to move anybody. Shizuka probably deserves to be an A tier if I had to be real about it. I think she deserves to be an A tier. She probably deserves to be an A tier around... I'd probably put her up here. If I'm going to be fair, I think she deserves to be an A tier. I'm fine with the animal girls being at the bottom. I'm fine with these 3 being in the bottom mainly because they don't have enough for them. That's the only reason why they're that low. Chio is C tier, and that's because I don't hate any of these girls. Sue's like my least favorite because she's the most standoffish of the girls and the one that probably has the least likable qualities to her. I guess the question is, do I really have... Mimi can eat... Low key, I want to put Mimi in S. I want to put Mimi in S. I want to put Nano and Mimi in S, honestly. Because I like them a lot. I'm trying to, like, rationalize my thought process here. Because, like, each of the girls I like for different reasons. I'm looking in the context of girls I want to see in chapters. Like, girls I always want to see more of in chapters. You know, I could probably get away with putting Nano in S. And I'm probably going to put Mimi in S as well. Karumi honestly can go up for me, honestly. Karumi probably would go, like, right here. I'll even put... Yeah, I'll put Nano. Nano and Mimi are fine. B tier... I think I'm fine with this layout. I think my weakest girls are probably at the bottom of those 3. I think Chio's the best written of this group, so I'm fine with her being that high. Of this group, it's probably between Kusuri, her grandma, and Mei, so I'm fine with that. I'm actually fine with this mostly. Yeah, I think I'm fine with that mostly. You know, I'll put Udo over a day. Sue has a really unlikable like an introduction, and that's what kind of hurts her a lot. So unfortunately, she's gonna have to work hard to get out of that. Chio honestly doesn't really deserve to be in C tier in the context of like likability. She's just always gonna struggle with the fans because you're a cousin, so that's like an automatic hurt. Like, she's not even a bad character in terms of like other shit. She's just, you're a cousin, so it makes you hard to enjoy in the way that you would want to. But I think that's the general gist of it. But I would usually hang around for some more casual conversation, but like I said, I have to go put the trash out. And I'm going to go do that. But I hope this was at least entertaining and fun. I'm sorry for the weird crashes. I wonder how I think YouTube is just going to only acknowledge the parts in which the video was up. As far as I don't think they're gonna keep the gaps in when the stream crashed twice or my computer crashed twice. But yeah, that's boom. No, we're getting out of here. Boom. Boom. About to wrap it up. I've been streaming for how long have I been streaming for? I don't even know. I started at 6:30, so technically it would have been a little bit over 2 hours if I started on time. I mean, if I didn't have those interruptions, but I think we just hit 2 hours. So unfortunately, boom, you've come to the end, but you can watch the playback and get the full context. Just know we made a tier list of all our girls and girlfriends, and yeah. I might still stream tomorrow. You're probably going to stream for me tomorrow. Also, my mother's calling me, so that's also a good time to end things. So I'm going to get out of here. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for the support. This is your boy, the Insane Game Freak. Life's a game. Play to win. And I will indeed catch you guys later. Peace and